So if you were absent, you'll need to make sure you watch this video. The rest of you hopefully saw this in class. So we are going to just review equations of lines. Because we are graphing, you're going to see different forms. Slope-intercept form, remember slope is your m, your y-intercept is your b. So y equals mx plus b. That's probably one you have remembered the most. Point slope. Slope is still m, but your point is x1, y1. Okay, so that's going to be your y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So rewrite each equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, that's the form we want to use in our piecewise functions. They're the easiest to work with. So what you need to do first is when you get it into point-slope form, you are going to distribute. So that's 2x minus 18. And then add 3. And that's it. So y equals 2x minus 15. Okay? Now, same thing over here. Plus 1. So 1/2 x. And then that's minus 3. 1/2 times 6. Minus 1. 1/2 x minus 4 is my equation. So when you are doing that, the reason is because we write our piecewise functions in function notation, which is f of x equals, and then it's all of the equations. So this is your y, so you have to make sure you put your equation into y equals. Okay? Write the equation for the function shown on the graph. So when you see a graph or equation, if it crosses the y-axis, okay, at a nice point. So if you know exactly that it crosses at a nice point, which it does, here is 1. So your b is 1. If you can use y equals mx plus b, do it because it's way easier. So your m, remember, is rise over run. So your slope is rise over run. Okay? So your rise, so you got to find another point on the graph that's an actual point. So there's another one. We rose 2. And we went over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. X, and then your b is plus 1. So this is going to be your equation. Over here, if you see that it's not quite perfect, it might be at a half, but we're not sure. So if we're not sure, oh yeah, I remember this one from last year. Sorry, this graph sucks. But we'll just make points, okay? So let's make this point, and then we'll make this one. So your graph won't be like this on the test or in the homework or anything. But if you have 2 points, so you have -1, 5, and that is 1, 0. So you need to find your slope. So you can do rise over run if you want to, or you can do the slope formula if you remember it. y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Otherwise, just rise over run since we have a graph. So we went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then we went left 2. So that's -2. And then you just get to pick a point. So you can pick any point you want. So y, so let's just do x1, y1. So y minus 0 equals 5 over negative 2, x minus 1. And I pick 0 because then it's a little bit easier to solve. So we need to put it into y equals equation. So distribute. Y minus 0 is just y. So 5 over negative 2x. And then negative times a negative is a positive. 5 over 2 might be easier instead of doing fractions if you do decimals. So 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. So negative 2.5 x and then plus 2.5. All right, so we have a couple more. One is a vertical or horizontal line. When it's a horizontal line, your m doesn't, you can still do rise over run. So if b is 7 and your m, so if I rose, if you pick 2 points, 0 and 1. So your slope is going to be 0. So y equals 0x plus 7. Well, 0 times x is 0. Or if you knew that horizontal lines, every y value is 7, no matter the x value, that's the equation. So you can do it either way. So this one is where you find 2 points. And you can pick any 2 points. It does not matter. 1, 3. And negative 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you need to find your slope. So your slope, you can do rise over run or you can do slope formula. I went up 1, so that's my rise, and then I went over 1, 2, 3, 4. So your slope is 1/4, negative 1/4. If you went down 1, so if I went from left to right, which is probably the more normal way to do it, negative 1, and then I went over 4, is negative 1/4. So it's the same thing. So negative 1/4 is your slope. I pick 1 point. I'm going to pick this one. So negative 1/4 x minus 1. So distribute y minus 3, negative 1/4 x plus 1/4. Sorry, that's kind of a bad 1/4. I add, so now y equals negative 1/4 x, and that is plus 3.25. 1/4 is 0.25. And there's my equation. So just a little review on writing equations of lines. We will need to do this for level 2s.